Hey everybody, Phil Strazula from Next Wave Hire here, back with another Whiteboard Wednesday. And today we're going to talk about talent pipelines or talent communities. Some people call this CRM. There's 100 names for it, and that's why we thought we'd clarify what this means, why people are doing it, and how it actually drives value. So let's take the example of your career site here. You're driving traffic from PR, your employer branding efforts, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, emails, InMails, all of these different things that you're doing to drive awareness about your company. And you're driving traffic to your career site. And actually, to tie this into last week's Whiteboard Wednesday, let's pretend that you're actually driving this to a microsite about what's it like to be an engineer at your company. And you've got a video about the microsite, about engineering, you've got testimonials, etc. And what happens here, imagine you're somebody that finds out about your company through PR. There's some sort of press event, maybe your company raised a new round of funding. You get to this website and you're like, hey, this is actually pretty interesting, but I don't have an up-to-date resume, or I'm still in school. And so this person bounces. They leave, you never hear from them again, and chances are when they're ready to apply for a job, they aren't thinking about your company. And so that's why we build in this little talent community here. So basically what this is a little form that exists on your microsites, your career site, that's for folks who are interested but not ready to apply. They can leave their name, their email, their title, what job they're interested in, their LinkedIn, whatever information you want to collect. We recommend keep it really lightweight. A lot of times what happens is people are bouncing because they don't want to go through your application process, especially if it's pretty arduous. Click submit, and they wind up in your pipeline. So these talent pipelines are great for sending updates to people. And eventually what we want to do here is we want to move them down the funnel. We want to engage with them and eventually hire them. And engagement could look like inviting them to an event, talking to them in person. It could mean having a conversation with a recruiter. It could mean getting them to apply through the ATS. You'll notice that I've got a couple different pipelines here. The point I wanted to make is that you really need a pipeline for engineering versus sales versus the Boston office versus women in tech, etc. And the reason is that you've got these different personas, and the person who's in the engineering pipeline cares about much different events and content than the person who's in the sales pipeline. And getting into how to actually engage with them is kind of another Whiteboard Wednesday that we'll get to in the future. In fact, there's so much nuance to talent communities that we've got a couple of different things that we're going to talk about in the coming weeks. ROI, how do we actually calculate the value driven from this? The folks that watched last week's video on microsites realize how we kind of think about ROI. Best practices, how to engage people. Worst practices, maybe the most important aspect of this. Tons of content coming. If you're interested, go to blog.nextwavehire.com and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment.